welcome to K-Stop, Fuse's new K-pop podcast, bringing you all the news, reviews, discussion, and everything else you need to know to be a K-pop fan. I am Jeff Benjamin, and I've, of course, joined with who I would undoubtedly rank the #1 visual in all of Fuse TV,
Oh my
Tina Zhu.
gosh, stop. Every week it's these crazy introductions.
There's nothing crazy. I speak the truth.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us again.
Yes, and thank you so much. This is, of course, episode 3. We have loved doing, we're having so much fun doing this, and we're having so much fun seeing you guys' comments every week, and we love it, every week for sure. Please use the hashtag KStop. You can use that on Twitter. You can hit us up individually on Twitter. I am at Jeff__Benjamin.
And I am at hey_Tina with 3 A's.
Yes, and let's just kick it off because, as always, you guys are as much a part of the show as we are. And we wanted to kick it off with some awesome questions that we saw and comments that we saw on floating around on Twitter and social media. So the first one is coming from @WhatWillSaid. Coming to us from South Africa, nonetheless. That is his location on Twitter. So awesome. Shout out to South Africa. And I love this question, and I thought it was really cool that they sent it to us. But they asked us, what videos do you show to non-K-pop fans to lure them into K-pop?
That's a great question.
It is such a good question. I love this question.
It's just because every K-pop fan has done this multiple times because we want to pull you into our world so badly.
100%. Everyone knows where you're coming from when you talk about this. So I love this question. So I'll kick it off. I think this one, and you totally really do have to kind of read the person and the situation. But if you're going straight generic, what is something that I can show them that they will be intrigued but not too turned off or not too, too much, too much, whatever it might be.
Too much, too K-pop.
Too, for lack of a better term, maybe. But I love going with Big Bang's "Fantastic Baby."
Nice.
Because not only is that the top viewed K-pop video other than Psy, of course, but there's so much going on in that video visually. It incorporates kind of that high fashion that K-pop's kind of known for, but it also brings a lot of technology in, a lot of crazy visuals, a lot of color, a lot of personality, and that song is just such a jam and so easy to get into.
Yeah.
That is a go-to for me. What about you?
You only got one?
I want to hear what you think first.
All right, don't get me started. All right, I have a few.
Yeah.
I feel like you really put a lot of thought into this. I'm just well, I like these groups, I like these singles, so I'm gonna show these, videos to people.
Totally fun.
I'm more into R&B, so
yes.
when it comes to R&B, my go-to is Taeyang. I'll do Only Look at Me, or if this person might be more into Wedding Dress, I'll go with Wedding Dress. Those are both solid videos.
Sure.
If I want more kind of badass females, I'll go with Hyuna, Change, because got my boy Junhyung in there too. Or For a Minute, Huh. Also shout out to One Way, the boys of One Way. I think they're on hiatus for I don't know how long, but I was listening to Rainy Days today, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, it's rainy right now in New York, guys, right now. So
Yes.
that was a perfect song for today. So that's also a really great song for R&B heads. And speaking of Big Bang, I love Bad Boy because I feel that translates over well to a lot of non-K-pop fans here in the States because, it takes place, the video's in Brooklyn, I believe.
Yeah.
It's got that throwback kind of 90s R&B hip-hop vibe to it. It's really easy listening.
Totally.
So...
Yeah.
Those are mine.
Those are
Sorry
yours?
for going off.
No. I some other ones I would definitely throw into the mix. I think I bring up I Got a Boy a lot, Girls' Generation.
Oh,
just because
yeah.
if I'm feeling confident about how this conversation's going, I'll be like, all right, and now I'm about to blow your mind with 15 different songs in one.
Right. That one is aggressive, I would say. So,
aggressive in the best way possible, I think. And then, I also love really showing the performance aspect of K-pop too. So I have found success, if you want to call it that, like being like, check out this this pole dance, routine by after school, or check out, just the like, I found like good success with Infinite and BTS. Actually, my friends really liked BTS. I found some new fans recently, and they were loving BTS Dope, which, as you know, will not leave America's consciousness.
I forgot to include Epic High 1 because that video is so dope, just visually. It doesn't have to be like a rainbow explosion in a K-pop video.
Right.
Like, that is a beautiful video and just gorgeously done.
Yeah. I think we got some solid. So feel free to use our suggestions if you like, or let us know what you guys choose, because this is part. You guys feel us. This is part of the process.
This is like I feel like this is like the daily life of a K-pop fan. Like, what can I do to like get more people into K-pop? What's like the most efficient manner to do so?
Exactly, and you know, Tina, like when we're writing about things for the site, or we're asking for photo requests or something, and then the photo editor or someone on the web team has to check out the video or something. I'm always like, so what'd you think of it? Like so.
Are you a fan now?
Yeah, so it's so fun in that way. So let us know what you guys think, because we need the help as well. So hit us up anytime, #KStop, leave a comment on the page at fuse.tv, whatever you might want to do. Last comments, we actually got a couple comments about this. A lot of people are talking about this reality show in Korea right now. It's called Produce 101. And for those who don't know, Produce 101 is this really quite intense singing competition show where they brought 101 young girls who have more or less yet to debut on the K-pop scene, but they're all being trained and working with companies to eventually, make their way into a group of their own. But the point of this television show is to be placed into this kind of 11-member super trainee group where they'll, do this EDM. They'll have like an EDM concept behind them, and then they will, go to their respective groups. But the idea is, get some attention before you debut. Clearly it's really intense. I mean, that's a lot of competition.
Crazy.
To be in the top 11 out of 101 girls is a lot to do. So I do not watch this show. It's a little tough for me it's a little tough for us to find these things, in the States. But they did create this, in my opinion, ridiculously amazing single where they all 101 girls performed this song. It's this EDM pop song, and they did this like special performance music video where they brought out all 101 girls and are dancing
and I think they're
singing.
All wearing the same thing.
They're all wearing the same thing. They're all wearing like Girl Scout or what do you call them? School uniforms.
Yeah, school. Yeah.
And I was personally, I was just like cracking up during this because it was incredible that like I thought like I was like that's a lot of girls like at first, and they actually probably only showed like 30 at first or 40, and then they brought like a fleet of them, and then they kept bringing these fleets of girls.
It really is. Yeah,
and
it was a fleet.
And they create.
Multiple
you guys
fleets.
Gotta see this. The song is called "Pick Me." It's just type in "Pick Me Produce 101" on YouTube, or you guys can find this video on the page on fuse.tv. And we'll post it for you there. But it is. They just kept bringing out more girls, and then when I thought they were done bringing out all the girls, then there were girls on the floor, and they're all dancing, they're all singing the same thing. It's like an army of young women, and it's incredible. I actually do like the song. The song is pretty catchy. I definitely like get into it in the shower. Tina might have other thoughts, but I do think it's a jam. Granted, that video was kind of like something you just do not see that most of the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but in my notes here, I only wrote no in all caps.
Oh, Tina loves a no. It's
not no shade to the program. Like, I think it's really dope what they're doing. It's just the video itself. Like the song, I was like, what the hell am I listening to? It was so repetitive, not in a good way, not in like a, I don't know, like a gentleman or Gangnam Style kind of way.
Sure.
It was just, I was like, what am I listening to? And like when I'm watching it, it's like, what is the point of having all of them dressed the same? This is doing nothing for me.
Yeah.
I don't I guess like it's hard to showcase 101 females in individually anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what they were going for, to make it really over the top. Like, look at all these girls, and this is what the program is about. It's 101 of them.
Yeah. And you did notice that the camera was going to a couple of them more than others. I was like, is this foreshadowing something?
I guess like it was also taken out of context for both of us. I just watched that one clip and I was like, what is happening?
Of course, yeah. So fascinating. Very interesting. But thanks to Trisha, who is at One More Sleep, and What Will Said, for also hitting us up about Produce 101.
Also, I'm glad that you introduced that topic, because I was about to say Produce 101. I don't know why. When I saw that word, I immediately thought produce, and I was about to say Produce 101. So I'm glad you started that topic
sure
and not me, because that would have sounded real dumb.
Yeah, I don't think they're fruit, but yeah, Produce 101. Find it fascinating. I agree with Trisha, who said, if not, listen to Pick Me. It's or what do you call this? A flame emoji. That's what they call them, flame emojis.
Oh, it's fire. Yeah.
Fire emoji. Yeah. So I agree. It's fire. Tina disagrees, but
I'm just more confused. Whatever. Move on.
But that's all. That's what we got for comments this week. We love to see you guys' comments. Please hit us up on Twitter anytime, or #KStop, or feel free to please subscribe and rate us on iTunes, because we also want to see you guys there as well. These episodes post shortly after posting to Fuse.tv on iTunes as well. So we hope you'll see you there as well. All right, so let's move on now, because of course there is a lot of exciting music to talk about this week. We got a pretty male-focused episode today.
Stacked.
So let's get right into it. First one, really excited about this personally. Taemin of SHINee.
Woo!
Has released his solo record. This is the second time he's gone like full-fledged with a solo career. SHINee, of course, like one of the longest they've probably been around now 7, almost 8 years, I think.
Yeah.
Really been, a big favorite in K-pop, really consistent group. And he's, one of the standout members. He even though I think that's a pretty solid group overall. Not to say that the others don't stand out.
Yeah, it's a very well-rounded group. And, of course, Taemin is known as the dance machine in that group, or at least that was what he was added to the group for, his, I guess, primary standout trait.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he is the main dancer.
Well, yeah, he just released his new single. It's called Press Your Number. That's a lead single off this album, Press It. And fun fact, so Press Your Number was actually co-written by Bruno Mars. He wrote the melodies, I'm assuming, and the, you hear a lot of English lyrics in here. And
we'll talk about those English lyrics. Oh, my goodness.
All right, Tina. All right. But, I instantly kind of fell for this song. The intro was a little sleepy. I was kind of like, where's this going? Not so sure about it. But then, like, once that chorus kicked in, I was like, oh, yes, I am feeling this. Like,
you can definitely hear the Bruno influence in there.
Oh, you can so hear it. I mean, yeah, you could imagine Bruno Mars singing that one.
Absolutely.
And I love the electro funk sound. It really, like, pulls me in 100%.
Right.
I'm a big fan of this record in particular.
Right. It's a good pace too. It still lets Taemin, deliver on choreography as he always does.
The video, of course, we saw that. Yeah.
The video was. What do you think about the video?
I thought it was certainly very interesting, very, very vibrant, lots of interesting things going on. It was a little like confusing, almost to the point where I'm like, so is he going crazy, or is he not going crazy? Or maybe that's the point.
Right.
I didn't understand the blue flowers. Maybe some Shawwals, which is SHINee's fan base, could help me out there. But I thought, I mean, the choreography just killed it. I loved that, and I loved just seeing like him just really lead that group of dancers. Like that was awesome.
Yeah, you could really feel the chaos and the angst in the video, and I think if
that's
fits,
a good word.
Yeah, it fits the I guess the content of the song itself really well, since he can't get over this girl and he's basically going crazy over her, and you can feel the craziness in the video. He's like he ends up like, well, in the video in the beginning he's robbing, I think, like a bodega or I guess it would
gas station.
Yeah. Bodega, gas station, whatever.
As we know them in New York.
Right,
bodegas.
in New York, we're like, everything's a bodega. Yeah, so he is robbing her at gunpoint, and then later on in the video, the girl is replaced by himself, and then he finds himself both as like in the beginning, what do you call it, the aggressor, and then he ends up being the victim, and he's like locked in a car, and like you said earlier, the blue flowers kept appearing. It's like he can't get away from something that's been haunting him.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool visuals. Yeah, I think, and I don't know if you saw this, Tina, but he released some teaser images, and there was like it was both him, but he was almost like kissing himself or like biting himself or something. It's kind of vague, which I think is kind of brilliant, and also kind of like, it's not usually something we would see from something like SM. Some fans are calling it maybe a little like homoerotic, which I don't totally know how I feel about that. It felt more like a me versus myself sort of thing. But and that's kind of how what the video sort of showed too, or maybe it's like a vanity sort of thing, you know, like in love with myself almost. I don't know. It's kind of, he's definitely done a lot of interesting things here, and I'm really curious to kind of see how it's received.
Yeah, the video is definitely a bit more mature, and it was deeper content-wise and thematically than I would have expected, which since he is, the youngest, and granted he is like 22 now, so but in the relatively he's still considered, the magne, the youngest of the group.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, like, it's a solid comeback single.
Solid. Yeah, I love just, went through the album really quickly, and Drip, the opening track, Drip Drop.
I can't even.
Tina's gonna.
For those of you who watch Empire, y'all know what I'm talking about. He named the song Drip Drop, obviously. No one in Korea, well, not no one, but most people in Korea, I'm assuming, don't watch Empire, but that was one of the characters' singles that he released. Yeah. So when I think of Drip Drop, I immediately think of Empire, which is completely different from Taemin.
I went the same. I don't even watch Empire, and I went the same way. Just because that song was really, really.
We're like, is Taemin an Empire fan?
Yes, exactly. So Taemin, we love it. We love the Empire reference, even if you didn't mean it. Good stuff. And you can actually read more about that song, and you can always, like all the music that we mentioned on the show, you can read about it on the page on Fuse.tv. But we actually gave a special section to review that as well. So check that out on Fuse TV. Let's move on. Oh, and thanks to Chris at Chris J. Che and Bry at TayCO16 for suggesting that we mention that one, because they did not want us to miss it. So thank you. Moving on, the second topic we want to bring up today in terms of in the music section is B.A.P, who is back with Feels So Good and their new EP Carnival. B.A.P, pretty, it's weird because they feel like a new group, but they've released so much stuff, and then they had this, sort of legal drama with their label and everything, where they were actually like kind of on hiatus for like almost a year, just like figure all that drama out, and they actually returned to the label because they said, we weren't being treated well, and it seems like they're being treated well now. But B.A.P is back. They've always been sort of an hip-hop influenced group, and this one gives them a little more funk to their sound. It's a little lighter sound. The music video is quite colorful, but it still has like that really nice hip-hop sound to it. And I'm a big fan of the single.
I love, love, love it.
Yeah?
When I saw the teasers and the photos, I was like, I'm going to hate this because I don't like bubblegum stuff. I don't like, anything that's too generic, or I guess as an R&B hip hop fan, I would want them to kind of stay in that realm, but it's actually really great. And, no pun intended, but it's a really good feel good song. It's kind of funky with a little bit of edge, but not too crazy.
Right, and they're still serving like some like really like strong kind of breakdancing moves. The Magne, the youngest one, Zello, who's actually the tallest now, which is kind
crazy.
of hilarious.
Yeah.
He just sprout out eventually. He's like serving it like really hard.
Is he
he's a
your
great.
favorite?
I don't. He is. I've actually met. So I've met B.A.P twice now. Actually, you can read both our interviews with B.A.P on Fuse.tv.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, no, they that was like a really good group of guys. You can tell that they're like really kind of in it together, and you know, they even when they were tired, they sort of like, you know, always looked to one another. I really, so he was really kind of adorable in his own little way, even though he's like so tall,
Right.
you know.
What was Jungkook like? Because as you can tell where this is going, he's my favorite.
Yeah, you know, and he was actually really cool because it was really interesting actually because he kind of went a little like off script, and when he was talking about our answers, and he was kind of like, oh, he was kind of shocked that I knew some of the stuff that like he had released, like whether on mixtapes or kind of done in live shows. And he kind of like gave an answer that I wasn't expecting when he was like talking about, you know, I wish I could put out more music, but it's not really my decision but I wish it was my decision because he wanted to, you know, represent the group better, represent himself better. So I always really appreciated that about him, and I think he's a special one.
He seems like an authentic dude.
Yeah.
And he was looking so good in the video. Come on, y'all. Like he had like his Timbs on and like his jacket. He was looking fly. He looked good.
Yeah.
Hi, Jungkook.
So I really hope, you know, they're back. I really hope they come back to America soon. They're one of like probably the biggest K-pop acts that have toured America. You know, just in terms of like how many tickets they sold, how successful their tours have been. They've done really well in America. So I hope we see them soon. And
also real quick, shout out to Team One Sound who helped write this song. I mentioned One Way earlier. They are no longer together as a band. However, two of the members, Young Sky and Peter, have formed a production duo called Team One Sound, and they help write Feel So Good. So show some love for both One Way, Team One Sound, and B.A.P.
There you go. There you go. There we go, B.A.P. We're down. Let's get quickly into New East, who is yet another boy band making their comeback recently. These guys have been around since 2012, right around the same time as B.A.P, kind of in that same wave of new acts. And they have been gone for kind of a bit, but they are back now again. This is the first boy band under Pledis Entertainment, home of After School, who I mentioned before, and Orange Caramel, and is now really on a hot streak with a new boy band, 17. They released their comeback song called Overcome, and that is off their EP named Q Is. I'm just going to kick this off with, you know, 17 is a really big hot rookie group in K-pop right now, and it's very poppy sound. It's got a hip hop sound to it. You know, it's very, very light and fun, and very much like of the moment. And I almost feel like what they're doing with New East is like proving that like, oh, remember they're like the quirky ones. Like, you know how kind of like FX is the quirky one to Girls' Generation almost?
Right.
It feels like that's what they were doing with this. This song is kind of, I'm really, this song took a moment for me to kind of totally understand what was going on. It's got this like really kind of reverberating, interesting electro, soul, R&B sound almost, but they're giving straight up boy band harmonies over it. And I think it's really interesting. It puts me in like kind of a weird mood, to be honest. I like listen, I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, huh?
I don't even know what that means, Jeff.
I don't know what it means either, but I was listening to it on this rainy day, as you know, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
But
you don't know how to feel.
I don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
But it was I am a fan of this, and they're really, I think it's good when bands find their identity, and I think this is them returning to their identity. They're saying we're doing something a little different, something a little offbeat, a little curious perhaps, and like, you know, you look at like what is Q Is, that's the name of the album, and there's a lot of very interesting titles on this album. I think they're trying to say, okay, we're going to be kind of that alternate pop sound for you, which I dig.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they were never super on my radar to begin with, so I don't have a whole lot of context going into this. So I was just judging this kind of based on just for what it was. And I kind of thought like, meh, like they're kind of like the the whole vibe was a little DBSK for me.
Oh.
And that's not like a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It was kind of like lukewarm to me.
Sure.
I would like maybe listen to it if it was like on shuffle, but I wouldn't like specifically go to that song. But yeah, that's
Not slaying you.
not slaying it for me.
No problem. Yeah, we of course want to know what you guys are being slayed by as well. So let's always hit us up whether you liked B.A.P, New East, or Taemin. And last but not least, let's quickly go through. We got a request from Rosie Mode, who wanted to know about the SS301 comeback. For the old school K-pop fans, no, we did not say SS501, who are one of totally an old school group in the sense that they were definitely one of the first groups to go totally international, and they were really popular.
They were considered veterans when I was into K-pop, like not even like that long ago, but like I mean. Things move quickly in K-pop.
Things move very quickly, and this band has more or less been on hiatus for nearly I believe it's been like half a decade at this point. But 3 of the members came back together to create SS301. They have a new song called Pain, which is the lead single off their Eternal 5 album. Interesting title, by the way, Eternal 5. But I love the acoustic guitar mixed with like the dance beat, and it's although, it really isn't the freshest beat I've ever heard in my life. But I enjoy the song. I love the hook. I think the chorus is really kind of nice, and it goes into this really sort of like pitched up hook and or modulated hook, I should say. I think it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nothing mind blowing, but I would listen to it again.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's good to have them back. It's good to see. All right, these guys are still here, still kill. Like, look at the music video. Like the choreography is on point. It's just good. It gives me a good feeling.
I feel like they're definitely a very versatile group. Even when some of the members did solo activities a few years ago, those were solid as well.
Yeah.
So they can't really do it wrong.
Exactly. So we of course want to hear what you guys have to think about all the music we talk about in the show. So please hit us up on Twitter or Fuse.tv. Leave a comment. We'll find it no matter what. So we're watching you. Let's get into the charts.
Let's do it.
Every week, as you may or may not know, we look at the top 5 songs on US iTunes K-pop chart. There is a whole K-pop section now. There's a whole section on iTunes now dedicated to K-pop, and we look at the top 5 songs trending right now. So let's see how we're doing. Last week, of course, was actually, let's just get right into the music. No need to look at the past. Number 5 is 4 Minutes Hate, which was number 1 in the last 2 episodes.
It's at number 5 now? What are
fallen.
you doing?
What are you all doing?
Gosh.
We love that record.
Yeah.
We couldn't say enough about it actually on our premiere episode, the debut episode. And here we are again.
I mean, like we just said, K-pop moves quickly.
They do. It's already so, but they had a really. It's doing quite well here in America at least. That's true. Number 4. A collaboration between Yoo Young-jin and D.O. of EXO, a song called Tell Me What Is Love. Now, quick background, Yoo Young-jin is basically a prolific singer-songwriter, producer under SM Entertainment. He's worked on everyone under that label, and that's, of course, home to everyone from Girls' Generation and EXO, SHINee, Red Velvet, FX, but this guy worked even with people like HOT and SES, which old school K-pop fans know is that first really solid generation of
a
groups.
True industry veteran.
True industry veteran. So that is very cool to see him kind of doing his own thing with Dio, one of the main vocalists of EXO. And it's a good song. Dio is belting it. There's some belt notes on. I was like, yeah, give it to me.
Wait, when was this song released again?
This was maybe released. It wasn't released too long ago, but maybe they didn't put out a music video for it, so it's a little tough to figure out exactly.
Right.
But I'd say it's probably around 2 weeks old at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's keep it going. At number 3 is our new favorite, B.A.P. Feels So Good. So good, sorry. So clearly, this album got released maybe 2 days ago, and fans are already sending it way up the charts. So nice work, babies. B.A.P's fan base, of course. Number 2 is Taemin's Press Your Number,
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But this is kind of interesting. That number 1 is drip, drop,
Oh,
drip,
no.
drippity, drop. No, I'm kidding.
Really?
That's not how it sounds. Yeah, isn't this interesting that the drip drop song is currently out charting the actual
Wow.
single, which is kind of, eventually going to get the push and has like
Yeah.
the big budget music video. Taemin did release kind of a performance version of Drip Drop to kind of maybe promote that track. So maybe
Right.
it's just catching people's eyes more,
Yeah.
at least in the States. Really interesting stuff, though.
Okay.
So, yeah. Let us know who's topping your charts, of course, with the hashtag K-pop and anything else you need. So last but not least, we get into my favorite section of the podcast, which is we call deep cuts, where we take a topic or a trending controversy, issue, discussion point, what have you, that's currently floating around the K-pop world and give some takes on it. So yeah, the first one is Beast member Hyunseung. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Close. Hyunseung.
Yeah. Hyunsung, sorry, I needed to just do a quick translation in my head, is kind of in the midst of I guess you would call it, for lack of a word, an attitude controversy. Basically, fans are kind of realizing, or it seems like he's not. So he's been showing up to events, looking a little detached from the group. The group will kind of be huddled around a microphone. He'll be on his cell phone. He puts his hat down in performances. He'll, and these are very specific moments, mind you. It's not like he does this every day, all day. He's, it's kind of just been things fans have been picking up on.
And remember that netizens and fans in general of K-pop, they are very, very meticulous, and they will notice things like this right away.
Right.
And you will get nailed for them.
Of course, yeah. So this even got so everyone has a bad day. Everyone kind of has those days where like I can't
Just
work
not
today.
feeling it, yeah.
But this kind of had come up more than once. He hadn't shown up to like a fan meeting, and then there was a question of whether he missed it to go have lunch in a cafe or something. It's gotten to a point where the record label actually needed to respond to this. Beast is under Cube Entertainment, home of 4 Minutes, Beast, Gina, lots of groups, and so it got to the point where they needed to actually respond to it, and it's kind of an interesting topic because on one hand, the comments are kind of divided at this point. They're not sure. On one hand, people are saying he signs his contract, he's part of this team, he should show up and be there present and give just as much energy as anyone else. On the other hand, people are saying, yo, he's human. He is allowed to have some off day. If he's going through a rough period, give him a little space. He clearly, basically the question is wondering, and I think this is the question for us to discuss, is kind of what is the source of this? Is it okay? Is it not okay? And what's basically how to move forward? Do you have any quick takes on this?
I am going to say that I can imagine being in a huge K-pop boy band, that the environment can be very challenging, demanding, and at times even suffocating.
Yeah.
And it would be hard to find a good balance between band time and personal time. Personal time, probably not, like hardly any personal time. So I think it's like the dude's human. Like, you can't dictate how he acts in all situations. That's not what the contract covers. So I'm defending Hyunsung in this situation. However, I will say that as a member of the band, for events like fan meetings where fans expect to get something for their time and efforts, that he should have been there. However, I don't know exactly why he wasn't there or the details surrounding that, but it is a bad look when you're caught at like a cafe having lunch when you should be at a fan meeting, and I think that reflects the group as a whole on a much larger scale, I guess.
Yeah, and of course we don't exactly know what happened with the cafe incidents or with the fan meeting incidents or what really is going through his head right now, but Hyunsung is kind of I would say he has probably been the most visible member in terms of musically outside of Beast. He's done solo stuff. He released a really good solo single last year. It was one of my favorites actually. I really love the beat with that. He's also done a unit group with Hana with Troublemaker, which was really popular.
Love that. Yeah.
He has definitely, I'm sure, like, you make a good point, Tina, that like it certainly could be suffocating. You have 6 other guys and maybe you're all not on the same level musically or even emotionally, but he's done other things. He's certainly gotten a chance to spread his wings musically, if maybe that's might be stifling him. So I get kind of concerned when it's like, okay, he's done other things, and then he can't bring it back to the team because
Right.
That team is kind of the basis of everything else he's
Right.
been doing, and I don't really recall these kind of attitude issues, if you want to call it that, coming out during his solo stuff or the unit stuff or whatnot,
Right.
which maybe are more creatively
Right.
satisfying.
I just hope that this isn't kind of his way of expressing that he's finding Beast static now.
Oh, let's hope
That
not.
would be terrible.
Yeah, Beast. We love Beast, right?
Right. Beast is they are like one of my favorite. I just love cube groups. I think they're just so consistent and I love them. I will say that I met a lot of the cube artists a few years ago when I was working at MTVK, and they came through and did an event with us at the former TRL studios to give people some context. And I will say that all members of Beast were extremely respectful and in good spirits, and they're just really, really great people. Out of the group, though, Hyunseung was naturally the most quiet, and I don't say this in a negative way. He was the most detached member of the group, but I think that's just how he is. Like,
What year was that?
This was 2012.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, granted, this was before they, or I guess before he found solo success and right when Beast was kind of blowing up around that time. So,
Right.
yeah, so I think it's just like a mixture of like him feeling maybe just some type of way personally, but not like, I don't think hopefully it's not something that needs more concern. I think it's probably just fans maybe picking him apart when.
Of course. And those fans do see every moment, and they,
because you remember the more negative things more than the positive things. It's like he's not doing this all the time.
Right, and that's the thing to think about too, is that you have to remember that these are people. No one reports on someone having a good attitude.
Right. Yeah.
Like come on now. Like, so that's something to remember too.
Have any of his fellow bandmates commented on this?
I don't think so. I think they're trying to keep it as sort
as
of
DL as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
not trying to draw attention to it.
Right. I mean, it's quite honestly, it's not a good look. But I do think, I think Beast, such a strong group, such a consistent group for sure.
Yeah.
I hope.
I mean, honestly, I appreciate that he keeps it real. Not everyone has a good day. Like, if I'm not having a good day and I gotta like,
I know if you're having a good day, Tina. I sit right by you. Okay.
If I'm not feeling 100% and I have to do this event, I have to be there. Like, there's gonna be a couple moments where,
of course, yes,
you can see that I'm not having the best day. But hey, he's there and he's, trying to, deliver what the fans want.
Yeah. Sometimes, for whatever someone is going through, and lots of time, K-pop definitely is a place where you do not speak really about mental health or what your stresses you're going through or anything like that. But sometimes going on stage is a statement in and of itself that I have brought myself here. I am here. Like, let me just have that at least. So sometimes that is honestly someone's biggest effort that they can give. But we of course want to hear what you guys have to think. So hit us up. #KStop. Hit us up on Twitter. You guys know our Twitters at this point, or you better. You can hear all the music that we talk about on this show and much, much more. More K-pop, more pop, more hip-hop, more everything on Fuse.tv. Please subscribe and listen to us.
Yes, please.
And we I can't reveal too much, but we got some exciting stuff in the works. Some exciting stuff in the works. We had a big guest come by Fuse soon. You could figure out who we're talking about if you check out our Instagram at Fuse TV. And we might have a little something for you K-Stop listeners. So
next episode's gonna be good.
Stay tuned. We got good stuff for you guys coming up. We'll keep growing. We'll keep getting better, and we hope you'll do it with us. So this has been Jeff signing off on K-Town. Sorry, not K-Town. Who's K-Town? This has been Jeff signing off on K-Stop.
And this is Tina. Thanks for listening. Bye y'all.
Guys.